Dominic, I called you in because I received your grade for biochemistry. And to my surprise, I realized that you got a D in biochemistry.
How did you find that out?
Well, I got your record. And when I got your record, I recognized the grade. I called your professor in biochemistry, and to my surprise, he told me that they found you cheating, which caused them to throw out that final grade, hence your D for biochemistry.
Should Dominic complain to the dean about his advisor speaking with his biochemistry professor regarding his grade and the cheating incident? Was there a FERPA violation by his advisor or his professor? FERPA, originally called the Privacy Act, is a federal law that protects a student's education records while they're in school and also once they leave. FERPA was created because often students would learn that their records at a school contained things they didn't know about. Sometimes those records would be disclosed to people that they didn't know, or they just didn't know their records had been disclosed. Who should know about FERPA? Students, faculty members, and administrators, because it impacts all of them and the school itself. What students should know about FERPA. FERPA pertains to information in a student's education records, such as your grades, class schedules, transcripts, enrollment data, disciplinary and financial documents. It also protects any photographs of you. It's your right as a student whether our office can give out such information or who is even allowed to see it. And you have the right to inspect and review and even seek an amendment to records you consider inaccurate. Requests to review records must be granted within a reasonable time, not to exceed 45 days after the request is received. You can request to see certain documents pertaining to Morehouse School of Medicine, but not transcripts from other schools. You may not be able to get copies of what's included in your education records, but you do have a right to review them. You have a right to specify the records to be disclosed, the purpose, and the identity of the person to whom disclosure is given. That's called prior written consent. Basically, if Morehouse School of Medicine cannot allow access to a certain document being requested by an individual, you can fill out a release form to allow access if you choose to do so. However, consent is not required for disclosure of education records in instances such as for legitimate educational purposes within the institution, to officials at an institution in which a student seeks to enroll, to comply with a valid court order or subpoena, in connection with a health or safety emergency if necessary to protect the student or others, to parents of students who are dependents for income tax purposes. What faculty should know about FERPA. Faculty needs to be aware of FERPA because if a mistake is made, it can affect the institution's right to receive federal financial aid. Faculty members cannot access just any student's educational records. A student's record can only be accessed by faculty or staff with a legitimate educational interest in them. For example, there needs to be a reason that's related to the student's education to review them. An advisor who isn't necessarily the professor of the student but might have a legitimate interest is allowed to see the transcript and any disciplinary letters that the student might have received. Letters sent to students have a carbon copy reference showing that your advisor has received a copy, so the student is always aware that their advisor has knowledge of certain things. Faculty should know that parents cannot automatically see their child's grades, even if they're paying their adult child's tuition. What staff should know about FERPA.
Good morning. Is this Miss Sally Stewart?
It is. Who am I speaking with?
I am Wally Smith for the AJC.
Okay.
I'm trying to get information in regards to a situation that occurred in your department with Joe Mack.
Okay.
Could you enlighten me on the situation that happened, the incident a few months back?
Well, I'm sorry, I really don't have anything to do with students. I'm just an administrative assistant.
Well, as administrative assistant, I'm aware that you have some enlightenment on what's going on with your students.
Honestly, I'm not able to disclose information about students, and the reason is there's a federal law that prohibits people like myself from disclosing information about students' records.
Well, Ms. Stewart, I'm aware that there's some information that you were present in the situation, so if you'd like to go off record with this information, you can disclose it to me.
I'm sorry, but I really can't help you. I can't disclose anything.
There's so much more to learn about FERPA. Be sure to read and acknowledge MSN's FERPA policy and online tutorial to learn specific information about your rights, the regulations surrounding requests for access, and the process to seek amendments. Choice. You may also contact the Registrar's Office for more information. To certify your completion of this course, please click on the link below.